Okay. Interesting stuff, man. And the topic today is going on the offense, right? So what does that mean? What does that mean to you? How would you define that?
How would I define going on the offense? So entrepreneurship, right, is, I always tell my daughter that, entrepreneurship at its core is you figuring out how to deliver a product or a service to somebody as a solution to a need that they have, right? So that right there is whether you're selling your product or service or somebody else's, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to capitalize on an opportunity to serve a market need, right? And so the hope is that you're successful at that, right? That you can turn a profit, that the success side, my OG of inspiration is Earl Nightingale. Are you familiar?
Yeah.
Earl Nightingale defines success as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal or goal, right?
Mm.
He doesn't say that's the achievement of a goal. He says it's the you're progressing toward entrepreneurship is you having a very clearly defined purpose and goal in mind.
Mm.
And saying, you know what, I'm going to do the things progressively to get towards that goal, right?
Got you.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
And I literally, this is something that's been stirring in my mind since this morning.
Mm.
Can a car drive? Can a car perform at optimal performance, right, with a flat tire?
No.
No.
All
right. So, and hang with me here. I'm working through this as I talk to you.
It's all good. Brainstorming's good too.
If a car can't perform optimal performance on a flat tire, neither can we, right? Like we talked about Earl Nightingale thing. And you have to have a clearly defined destination that you're trying to get to.
Mm.
But you get in your car and you need to be running on 4 tires that have the right elements in them. And I've been thinking through this, and the elements in our tires, right, as individuals, as entrepreneurs, we need more than air, right? In the front tires, we need something that I know Kobi loved talking about, purpose, right? Mm-hmm. you need that purpose. You also need the knowledge. You need to have skill and talent and knowledge up front. But will that get you to your goal? Right? Will just having big dreams and clear purpose, knowledge and skill alone get you to your goal?
No.
You have a flat tire in the back.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
The flat tire in the back is the grind, is the execution, is doing the hard work, is the consistency, right? To do it over and over and over again.
Yes.
You talk about trailblazers, right? Trailblazers is nothing that I consider myself greatness, right? In and of itself. What I pride myself on being able to do with trailblazers is up till my dad's stroke. I run an independent podcast that I had to put the work in week after week after week. Anybody that's listening to this right now is a content creator or podcaster. You know how hard it is when nobody else is there to help you.
It's not easy.
Nobody else is there to help you.
Yeah.
Right? Like you are up at night, you are cutting audio, you are creating the social posts, you are doing everything. And sometimes you have to pat yourself on the shoulder and keep moving. Right? And so those wheels, right? So, you know, like you have to have the right elements in the tires in order for you to get towards that goal, get towards that destination that you have defined as where you're trying to get to, as you know, that measure of. And Janice Bryant Howard, I talked to you about her a second ago. You know, Janice Bryant Howard is somebody who built $1 billion company. This lady is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Would you consider her successful? I would. When I asked her that question in our podcast episode, she said, hey, you know, I'm not there yet. I'm still on the journey, you know? And it was this wake-up call like, hey, you know what? We are always on this journey towards success. It's always evolving. It's always dynamic, right? Like when you come out of college, you want a $50,000 job, but you get to a $50,000 job and you want 100. You want the quarter, you know, like you're always on to the next.
Yeah.
And so it's this dynamic, you know, chase, if you will. So, so going on the offense, one, again, coming back to it, you have to have a clearly defined goal and purpose for why. Why is it that you want to be an entrepreneur? Why is it that you are willing to get up when everyone's asleep? To stay awake when everybody's already gone back to bed? To do it, sometimes knowing full well you're not going to get paid for however long. Yeah. Sometimes you don't even know if you ever will get paid for creating, for doing. So you have to have clarity on your why, right? Why are you going to keep doing this when it gets hard? And it will get hard. Talent, you know, you have to be able to come in knowing that for you to get good, right, you have to learn what you don't know. You have to develop the skill and the talent and keep working at that over time. And you have to be able to grind, right? There are people on here who I know some of those people watching who have followed my journey. They're surprised when I tell them that I'm resting in 2020, that I've paused in 2020, because I'm forever, you know, working like 24/7, you know, pushing, right? And that consistency is the fourth thing, right? So having the goal, having the knowledge, having that grind mindset, and having the consistency. I'm right now listening to an audiobook for the second time, Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers.
Powerful book, man. Powerful.
Love it. And, you know, the thing I love most about this is that he talks about greatness requiring 10,000 hours of practice. You know, and he highlights all the athletes, and how these people put in thousands of hours of practice to get lucky and to achieve greatness, right? So that's what the offense of entrepreneurship, full circle, looks like, right? There's so much other variables that goes into it, but to me, those are the key elements that, you know, you really need to have in that foundation, right? Working for you always.
Well said, man. That's a great summary. I can't think of one better than that. It makes too much sense. Too much sense.